Ngayon naman pag-uusapan natin yung mechanics. So dito papasok yung mga konsepto ng force, motion, energy, at saka yung iba pang mga related concepts. So start tayo sa ating review about scalar and vector. Number 1, which of the following quantities is a vector? Letter A, speed. Letter B, distance. Letter C, mass. Letter D, velocity. So ang tinatanong sa atin dito, alin daw yung vector? So ano ba muna yung pinagkaiba ng scalar at saka ng vector? Quantities. Kapag sinabi nating scalar, sila yung quantities na merong magnitude. Pero magnitude only. Okay? I-compare mo yan sa mga vector, meron silang magnitude. And aside from that, they also have direction. Okay? So yun yung pinagkaiba nila, no? Ang scalar, ang mga example ng scalar, dito papasok yung mass. Ayan. So this one is a scalar quantity. Speed is also a scalar quantity. Okay? Aside from that, distance is a scalar quantity. Right? Ano pa yung example natin ng scalar? Temperature. Okay? Walang direction ang temperature. Alright? Now, ano naman yung mga examples natin ng vector? So, by elimination, nakita natin na letter D yung answer, velocity. Okay? Ang velocity is a vector quantity kasi meron siyang direction. Okay? Kapag kinuha natin yung magnitude ng velocity, magiging speed lang yan. No? Pero kapag may direction na siya, velocity na yung tawag natin doon. Right? Ano pa yung example natin ng mga vector quantities? Dito papasok yung force, displacement. As we can see, yung distance, kapag may direction yan, displacement na yung tawag natin. Alright? Acceleration. Acceleration is also a vector quantity. Alright? Ano ba yung speed? Again, ang speed, tinitingnan natin dyan kung gaano kabilis yung isang bagay. Alright, sa speed yun, no? How fast something is moving. Yung distance naman, ano na yung na-cover na, for example, paano ba natin ipapaliwanag? For example, from this point to this point, let's say 5 meters. Ayan, ito yung distance niya. Okay? Now, kapag halimbawa nandito ka, tapos nag-move ka, papunta dito, right, towards the towards east. Okay, going to the east. So, ibig sabihin, yung displacement niya is 5 meters east. Alright? Now, ano naman yung mass? Ang mass naman, syempre, ang definition natin yan, ano yung amount of matter in an object. Okay? Again, wala yung direction. And then yung velocity, how fast something is moving, pero saang direction siya. Okay? Kung ang speed natin, let's say, nag-move ka from this point to this point in 5 seconds, so, para makuha natin yung speed, then that would be 5 meters divided by 5 seconds. That gives you 1 meter per second. Okay? Yan yung speed niya. Pero dahil papunta siya sa east, ang velocity niya is 1 meter per second east. Okay? So, again, ang mga vector quantities, meron silang direction. Ang scalar, wala. Right? So, next tayo. Ayan yung answer. Next, number 2. A student walks 3 meters east and then 4 meters west. What is the student's displacement? Okay. So, tingnan natin na i-drawing natin. For example, nandito si student and then nagpunta siya 3 meters east. Papunta dito. Let's say, ito yung distance na na-cover niya, no, doon sa unang part ng motion natin, 3 meters. And then after that, ito na siya, no? So, let's say, ito siya, and then, nag-move naman siya 4 meters west. So, pupunta siya dito. Pupunta sa west. For a total of 4 meters. Okay? Ito yung distance na na-cover niya doon sa first part ng motion. Ito yung distance na na-cover niya doon sa second part ng motion. Kung ang tinatanong dyan ay distance, yun yung total ground covered. So, that would be 3 meters plus 4 meters. It gives us 7 meters. Okay? Ito yung distance. Pero ang tinatanong kasi sa atin dito ay displacement. Okay? Ang displacement, tinitingnan natin is from the initial position to the final position. Okay? So, ito yung naging final position niya. So, kung 3 meters east yan and we take the east direction as positive, okay? And then yung west direction as negative, so that would be 3 minus 4. That gives you negative 1 meter. Okay? Pero, dahil papunta siya ngayon doon sa west, so the answer would be, itong negative na to, ang sinisignify niyan is papunta sa west. Okay? So, ang displacement covered is 1 meter west. Alright? So again, kasi yung pinakang naging final position niya is nandito siya, which is west of the initial position. Okay? Kung east of the initial position, yung magiging answer nyo dyan ay 1 meter east. Pero dahil nandun siya, west or left of the initial position, then our answer is 1 meter west, letter D. Okay, next tayo, number 3. A car moves at a constant speed of 20 meters per second in a straight line. What is its acceleration? Letter A, 20 meters per second squared. Letter B, 10 meters per second squared. Letter C, 1 meter per second squared. Letter D, 0. So, tinatanong sa atin dito, ano daw yung acceleration? Okay, pasok naman yung lahat based sa units nila. Because remember, ang unit ng acceleration ay meter per second squared. So, recall nga natin, ang unit ng time ay seconds. Ang unit ng distance ay meter. Unit ng speed ay meter per second. And then, kapag nag-increase pa tayo ng time variable, then yung unit ng acceleration is meter per second squared. Okay? Now, tingnan nyo yung clue natin dun sa first sentence. Nasa constant speed daw na 20 meters per second. Dahil constant yung speed, hindi siya speeding up, hindi rin siya slowing down. Remember, yung layman's natin, no, sa acceleration, nangyayari yung acceleration if the object is speeding up, or slowing down. Okay? O kaya kapag mayroong pagbabago ng direction. Pero sabi dito, straight line yan eh. Alright? So there is no change in the direction of motion. Tanong, nag-speed up ba yung object? Hindi. Kasi constant yung speed niya. Nag-slow down ba siya? Hindi rin. Kasi nga constant yung speed niya, 20 meters per second. Okay? Dahil wala siyang pagbabago doon sa motion niya, ibig sabihin, 0 yung acceleration. Okay? So the answer is letter D, 0 meter per second. Okay, tandaan natin, no, kapag walang pagbabago doon sa speed ng object or walang pagbabago doon sa direction ng motion, then wala tayong acceleration. Okay, so next tayo. Yan. A ball is thrown straight upward at the highest point. What is its velocity? Okay, so meron tayong object. Let's say ito yung object, no, isang bola, tapos ito ka. Ayan, tinapon mo siya pataas. Let's say ito yung peak o yung highest point ng object. Ang tinatanong sa atin dito, so ito yung, again, ito yung maximum height. Okay? So, ang tinatanong sa atin dito, ano daw yung velocity dito? Ano yung velocity dun sa highest point? Yung bola, imagine mo, meron kang bola, tapos tinapon mo pataas. Kapag nandun na siya sa pinakatuktok, how will you describe the motion of the object? Titigil yan dyan. Diba? Titigil siya dyan bago siya bumaba ulit. Ibig sabihin, yung velocity niya at the highest point has to be 0. Okay? So again, yung velocity sa highest point ay 0. Kapag i-describe natin yung motion niya, no, habang tinatapon mo siya pataas, yung velocity niyan, magdi-decrease yan. So, pababa siya ng pababa. Dito mataas pa and then babagal hanggang sa tumigil siya. Alright, now, ibig sabihin, at the very highest point, yung object, titigil yan bago yan bumaba. Okay? Pero, tandaan natin, no, na yung velocity, 0 dyan, hindi ibig sabihin, yung motion, titigil na habang buhay yan, no? Instantaneously, 0 siya. Ibig sabihin, at that instant, yung velocity natin ay 0. Okay, so the answer is letter B. How about yung acceleration? Kasi minsan tinatanong din sa atin yung ano nangyayari dun sa acceleration. Tandaan natin na yung gravity palagi yung nag-act downward even dun sa highest point. Okay? Ibig sabihin yung acceleration due to gravity is still 9.8 meters per second squared downward. Okay? Kaya kapag na-reach na niya yung highest point, yung object bababa na. Kasi nga merong acceleration due to gravity which always acts on the object downward. Okay? Again, hindi ibig sabihin na kapag 0 yung velocity, 0 na rin yung acceleration. Yung acceleration is still 9.8 meters per second squared. Okay? So, next tayo. Again, the answer is letter B, 0. Ayan, again, at the highest point, the velocity is 0. Yung acceleration, 9.8 pa rin siya. Kasi nga yung gravity, it acts at all times doon sa motion ng object. Next tayo, number 5. Which motion describes a projectile? Letter A, motion affected only by gravity. Letter B, motion with constant speed only. Letter C, motion with no horizontal component. Letter D, motion with no vertical component. Okay. So tinitingnan naman natin dito no yung isang projectile motion. Usually, ang makikita natin no, ng mga illustration sa projectile motion is that meron kang object. Dito, for example, bola, tapos sinipa mo siya. Magta-travel yan ng ganitong klaseng path. Okay? Ang tawag natin sa path na to ay parabola or parabolic. Parabolic yung path natin. Okay? So now, ang projectile motion, ito yung motion na tinitake ng mga object kapag sinipa mo siya. O kaya, for example, meron dyang canyon. Ayan, for example, no, tapos binuga niya tong bola na yan or whatsoever. Okay? So, kaya siya projectile motion kasi pinoproject siya dun sa air. And then, nagmo-move itong object na to under the influence of gravity. Alright? So, nakita natin yung answer. Again, yung object na yan, magmo-move siya under the influence of gravity alone. Kapag sinabi kasi nating only or alone, ang ibig sabihin niyan, nineneglect natin yung contribution ng air resistance. Okay? So again, ibig sabihin yan, wala tayong air resistance. So aside from that, walang other force na nag-act doon sa object, doon sa horizontal component ng motion. Bakit? Kasi yung gravity, again, nag-act siya vertically downward at all times doon sa motion ng object. So again, the answer is letter A, motion affected only by gravity. Ayan, so again, projectile motion, yung mga object nagmo-move under the gravity or under the influence of gravity alone. And yung horizontal velocity natin ay constant. Bakit constant yung horizontal velocity? Kasi nga walang horizontal force na nag-act doon sa object. Okay? Bakit? Wala tayong air resistance dyan na kino-consider. Okay? Now, ang example natin yan, ayan, sabi dito, vertical motion is also uniformly accelerated. Bakit uniform yung acceleration ng vertical motion? Because of the gravity. Okay? Kasi yung acceleration due to gravity, as we know it, is sub y, yung y indicating na it's acting downward, no, is equal to the acceleration due to gravity, which is 9.8 meters per second squared. Okay? Now, yung vertical velocity niyan, isa rin sa magandang i-note natin, no? Yung vertical velocity, nagbabago yan over time. Okay? Tandaan, yung horizontal velocity, constant, hindi nagbabago. Pero yung vertical velocity, nagbabago yan. Okay? Paano siya nagbabago? For example, ito yung motion. Tapos nandito yung object, after some time, nandito siya, and then nandito na siya, and nandito na siya. So, habang yung object natin, nag-i-increase yung height niya from the ground. Okay, as we can see, nag-i-increase siya, no? Na bumabagal din siya. Okay? And then dito at the highest point, okay? At the highest point, yung vertical velocity niya nagiging 0. And then kapag pababa na siya, mag-i-increase ulit yung vertical velocity ng isang object. Okay? So again, magdi-decrease, magzi-zero, magi-increase. Okay, so ganyan natin dinidescribe yung vertical velocity ng isang object sa projectile motion. Ito yung mga examples natin, no? Yung ball na tinapon o kaya sinipa mo yung isang soccer ball. So yun yung mga examples natin. Okay? So ayan. So again, at the highest point, yung velocity natin, yung vertical velocity is equal to 0. Alright? So, ano pa yung magandang i-note natin sa ganitong mga topic? Isa pa sa magandang information natin dyan ay yung konsepto ng range. Okay? Ano ba yung range? Ang range basically yung horizontal distance. Okay? From this, okay? Ayan, kita naman, no? From this to this. Okay? That is the horizontal distance. Ang range natin, ang formula ng range natin is the initial velocity. You square the initial velocity. You multiply that by the sine of twice the angle. Itong theta na to, ito lang yung angle, no? Itong angle of projection based dito sa illustration natin. Divided by the acceleration due to gravity. Okay? Now, gusto ko mag-focus tayo dito sa term na to, yung sine of 2 theta. Kasi pwede ring itanong sa mga gantong klaseng exam, no, kailan magiging maximum yung range natin or kailan niya ma-reach yung pinakamalayong ending point, no, or final position. Ma-reach natin yan if this term is equal to 1. Okay? Again, ma-reach natin yung maximum range when sine of 2 theta is equal to 1. Kailan yan mag-equal to 1? Mag-equal to 1 yan if you have sine of 90 degrees. Okay? Kasi sa trigonometry, yung sine of 90, no, pwede nyo i-check sa calculators nyo, yung sine of 90 is equal to 1. Okay? Ibig sabihin, dapat yung 2 theta is equal to 90. And if you divide both sides by 2, then yung theta natin is equal to 45 degrees. Okay? Again, ano yung ibig sabihin nitong information na to? You will get the maximum range when angle is equal to 45 degrees. Okay? For example, meron kang object na ganito. Minsan ganito yung lumalabas sa exam, no? So, this is 45 degrees. Let's say meron ding 60 degrees. And then, let's say meron ding 30 degrees. Alin dito sa mga to yung makaka-reach ng pinakamalayong distance? Ibig sabihin, yung range natin will be maximum. So, the answer is ito. Itong 45 degrees. Okay? Assuming that they have the same initial velocity. Alright? So, paano pa natin pwedeng tingnan itong formula ng range? Yung formula ng range then, it is affected or it depends on number 1, ito, yung gravity. Number 2, yung angle ng projection natin. And number 3, itong initial velocity. Okay, which is the horizontal velocity. So, next tayo, number 6. According to Newton's first law, an object at rest will remain at rest unless, letter A, it is heavy, letter B, it is moving fast, letter C, gravity is present, letter D, a net external force acts on it. Yan. Dito sa question na to, gagana na yung sinasabi natin na yung longest, siya yung answer, and that is correct, no? Yan, letter D. Familiar naman tayo, no, sa Newton's first law of motion. Ang sabi ng first law of motion, yung object, it will remain at rest or it will continue to move at a constant velocity in a straight line unless merong net external force na nag-act on it. Okay? So, dito papasok yung konsepto, no, ng tinatawag nating inertia. No, sa first law of motion, dito papasok yung concept of inertia. Ang inertia, ito yung resistance, no, ng object to change its state of motion. Okay? So, pwede natin sulat dito, resistance or resist na lang to change its state of motion. Ano ibig sabihin ng state of motion? Pag sinabi nating state of motion, the object can be at rest or it can be moving at constant velocity. Okay? Pwede nating isipin yung inertia na ito yung kakulitan ng mga object. Kasi, for example, merong isang mabigat na rock dito, no? Tapos merong isang medyo maliit lang na rock. Siyempre, mahirap galawin to kasi sobrang taas ng inertia nito. Okay? Malaki yung inertia niya. Resistant siya to move. Or for example, may isang object na gumagalaw, no? Let's say at a constant velocity, let's say 5 meters per second east. So, kapag mataas yung inertia ng isang object, mahirap baguhin tong motion na to. Okay? Yan yung sinasabi ng inertia. Tingnan natin yung mga option. Letter A, it is heavy. Yung heaviness, nakaka-apekto siya dun sa inertia. Okay? Pero yung pagiging mabigat ng isang object alone, hindi siya yung nagiging determinant kung mababago yung motion ng isang object. Okay? So, letter B, it is moving fast. Hindi rin totoo, no? Kahit yung object, whether it's moving fast or slow, magkukontinue pa rin yan sa kanyang current state unless may mga unbalanced forces. Okay, so letter B is also wrong. Letter C, gravity is present. Yung gravity, no, kapag, for example, let's say meron tayong object, tapos meron tayong table dito. Tanong, meron bang force of gravity na nag-act dyan? Meron. Downward. At the same time, meron niyang normal force. Ang normal force represented by n or sometimes f of n is basically the force na nagka-cancel nitong gravity. And ang direction niyan is perpendicular to the surface in contact with the object. Okay? So, hindi porket present yung gravity, mag-move na yung isang object. Kasi in this case, at rest yung isang object natin. Alright? So, ang pinakang answer talaga natin dyan is letter D. A net external force is acting on the object. Kapag may net external force, magkakaroon tayo ng unbalanced forces dyan. Okay? So, that is the answer, letter D. Next, number 7. A 2 kilogram object accelerates at 3 meters per second squared. What is the net force acting on it? So, another formula, no? Ang force is equal to mass times acceleration. Okay? So now, ano yung mass ng object? The mass of the object is 2 kilograms and then the acceleration is 3 meters per second squared. So anong gagawin natin dito? You just have to multiply. 2 times 3 is 6 and then ang unit ng force ay Newton. That is the answer, letter C. Okay? Baka kasi ang gawin natin, i-divide natin 3 divided by 2 or etc. Okay? But again, very important formula. Force is equal to mass times acceleration according to Newton's second law of motion. Okay, next tayo. Ayan, number 8. Which force opposes motion between two surfaces in contact? Letter A, gravitational force. Letter B, normal force. Letter C, tension force. Letter D, frictional force. So, ang mga keywords natin dapat dito, number 1, itong oppose. Okay, ino-oppose niya yung motion, tapos meron tayong two surfaces in contact. Ito yung pinakang classic definition, ang tinatawag nating friction. Okay? So, the answer is letter D, friction or frictional force based dito sa options natin. Tingnan natin yung letter A, gravitational force. Ang gravitational force, usually, ang nagiging definition natin dyan, no? For example, you have two objects, let's say the Earth, and then, yun nga, yung apple na nandito, kunwari. So, yung gravity nag-exist between this object, the Earth, and this object. Okay? So, in our context, it is always directed towards the center of the Earth. Okay? So, yun yung gravitational force. Now, ang gravity, again, pinupul niya yung mga objects downward, papunta sa center ng Earth, but hindi niya ino-oppose yung motion doon sa surface. Okay? Kasi, non-contact yan eh. No? Ito kasi, in contact dun sa options natin. So, letter A is wrong. Letter B, normal force. No? Na-explain na natin kanina anong ibig sabihin ng normal force. For example, meron kang table. Let's say, merong book. Ay, yung gravity, nag-act dito, downward. Let's say, ito yung ground natin. No? And then, yung normal force. Ito. Ang normal force, again, is perpendicular to the surface in contact. Okay, sinusupport niya yung object against doon sa gravity. Okay, pero hindi niya ino-oppose yung motion doon sa surface. Yung letter C naman, so again, letter B is wrong. Yung letter C, tension force. Okay, ang tension force, ito yung ang dapat papasok sa isip natin dyan ay yung string, o kaya kapag may nabanggit na rope or cable, yung mga synonyms niya, no? So, dyan papasok yan. Okay? And then letter D, that is our answer, frictional force. Ang frictional force, for example, no, merong kang surface. Tapos merong object na pinupush dito. Okay? Ayan. So, dahil may contact yan, tapos ito yung direction ng motion, ang friction ay opposes the direction of motion. Ibig sabihin, kung papunta sa east, yung object natin, yung friction is papunta dito sa kabila. Okay? So, meron tayong types ng friction. Dito papasok yung static friction at saka yung kinetic friction. Pag sinabi nating static friction, piniprevent niya yung isang object from moving. Ibig sabihin, kapag may attempted motion, siya yung pumipigil dito. Kapag naman kinetic, minsan ang tawag natin dito is sliding, nag-act na yan kapag in motion na yung isang object. Okay? Kapag nag-slide na tong object na to. Alright? Again, static kapag nakatigil pa, pero may attempt to move. And then kinetic, or sliding friction kapag nagmo-move na yung isang object. Right? So, next tayo. Number 9. In a free body diagram, which force always acts vertically downward on an object near Earth's surface? Letter A, normal force. Letter B, tension. Letter C, friction. And letter D, weight. So, dito na papasok yung FBD or free body diagram. Ang mga free body diagram, makikita natin yan. Minsan, ganito yung itsura niya. Yan, usually, ganito yung nagiging itsura ng mga free body diagram. Kung meron pa dito, ganyan. Alright? So, tingnan muna natin yung normal force. Ang normal force, pinakita na natin kanina, kung meron tayong table, meron tayong object, perpendicular. Okay? Pero ito, hindi siya always downward. So, mali agad itong normal force. Kasi sabi dito, always acts vertically downward. Eh, dito pa lang sa example natin, upward na siya. Vertically upward. Okay? Kung meron nga tayong gantong object, no, naka-angle siya, papaganto yung normal force natin as long as perpendicular siya dito sa surface. Okay? So, letter A is wrong. Next, letter B, tension. So, tension naman, again, ang papasok dapat sa isip natin dyan ay string, yan, rope, yung mga ganyan. So, letter B is wrong. Letter C, friction. Ano yung definition ng friction natin kanina? It opposes the motion of the object when those two objects are in contact, no, doon sa surface. So, letter C is wrong. Letter D, by elimination, is our answer. Weight. Okay? Ang weight, basically, is yung gravitational force na nag-act doon sa object. Kaya, dito sa free body diagram natin, ito yung weight. At remember, ang formula ng weight is mass times the acceleration due to gravity. Palagi yung vertically downward. Okay? So, for example, meron tayong inclined plane dito. And then, andito yung object, papaganto yung normal. Pero, yung weight is vertically downward. So, ito yung weight, ito yung normal. Kung in motion yan, ay di papaganto yung direction ng motion. Tapos, yung friction, sa kabila. Alright, so that's the answer. Letter D, weight. Next, number 10, how much work is done when a 10 Newton force moves an object 5 meters in the same direction? So, dito naman tayo sa concepts ng work, power, and energy. Tinatanong sa atin dito ay work. Basically, kailangan lang ma-memorize natin yung formula. Okay? Na yung work is equal to force times displacement. Okay? Ano yung force? Ang force na given sa atin ay 10 Newton. And then, displacement, you're given here 5 meters. So, 10 times 5 is 50 Newton. That's the answer, letter C, 50. Okay? Next, number 11. Which form of energy does a moving object possess? Letter A, kinetic energy. Letter B, thermal energy. Letter C, potential energy. And letter D, chemical energy. So, ito, alam nyo na to, no? From grade 7, alam na natin. Kapag nakita nyo yung word na moving object, ang isasagot agad natin ay letter A, kinetic energy. Okay? Tingnan muna natin yung other options. Letter B, thermal energy. So, ang thermal energy, ito yung energy due to, pwede rin kasing pumasok dito yung motion. Pero, internal motion to. Okay? Internal motion ng mga objects. Okay? Due to, for example, heat. Okay? So, ito, microscopic yung level nito. Pero kasi, ito in general yan eh. No, moving object possesses. Okay? So, tingnan naman natin yung potential energy. Ang potential energy, again, ito yung energy possessed by an object due to its position or by virtue of its position or configuration. For example, meron tayong shelf dito. Tapos, merong book dito. Meron din ditong book. Parehas lang ng weight yung book. Okay? Parehas lang sila ng bigat. No? Parehas sila ng mass. Ito, mas mataas tong book na to compared dito sa book na to. Okay? So, may component tayo ng height dyan, height from the ground. Ibig sabihin, yung potential energy nito mas mataas compared dito. Kasi ang potential energy, ang formula niyan is potential energy is equal to mass times the acceleration due to gravity times the height of an object relative to the ground. Alright? So, that is for potential energy. Specifically, ang tawag natin dito is gravitational. Kaya minsan, meron tayong subscript na G. Okay, gravitational potential energy. May isa pang uri ng potential energy, yung elastic. Okay, yung elastic potential energy. For example, in-stretch mo yung isang rubber, yan, papunta dito. So, magpo-possess din yan ng potential energy. Alright? And then lastly, yung chemical energy. Ang chemical energy naman, dapat papasok sa atin dyan sa isip natin yung word na bonds. Sa mga chemical bonds, ito yung energy na nakastore doon sa mga chemical bonds ng mga molecules. Usually, ang mga examples natin, ano daw yung mga merong obvious na chemical energy dito, dito papasok yung food or batteries, etc., gasoline. Okay? So, para ma-harness natin or makuha natin yung energy, i-break natin itong mga bonds na to para lumabas itong chemical energy. Okay? So, that is for letter A. Kinetic energy is the answer. Again, ang kinetic energy, ito yung energy ng object dahil sa motion niya. Ang formula natin sa kinetic energy is KE is equal to half of the product of mass times the square of velocity. Okay? Or 1/2 mv squared. So, that is for kinetic energy. Next, number 12. A ball of mass 1 kilogram is raised to a height of 5 meters. What is its gravitational potential energy? So again, ang formula natin for the gravitational potential energy is mass times the acceleration due to gravity times height. Yung mass natin ay 1 kilogram. Yung acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared. And then yung height natin ay 5 meters. Now, ito yung tip ko sa inyo, no? I-round off nyo na to sa 10. Gawin nyo ng 10 meters per second. Kasi 10 meters per second squared. Kasi 10 times 5 will give you 50. 50 joules. Okay? Times 1. So, 50 lang talaga yan. Alin ba yan yung closest to 50? Letter C. So, that is the answer. 49 joules. Okay? Ang unit ng energy ay joules. No? Ano nga ulit ang unit ng force? Kapag force, ang unit niya ay Newton. Okay? Kapag naman energy, ang unit natin ay joules. Yan. Next, number 13. Which principle states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed? Letter A, law of inertia. Letter B, Newton's second law. Letter C, conservation of energy. And letter D, conservation of momentum. Okay? So, ito, nakita na natin, nandito na sa question, energy. So, dapat, pinifix na natin yung answer natin dito sa letter C. The law of conservation of energy or the conservation of energy. So, ano ba yung letter A? Law of inertia. So, ang sinasabi ng law of inertia or based sa discussion natin kanina, ito rin yung first law of motion ni Newton. Okay? Sinasabi niya na yung mga object, resistant sila sa changes in motion unless merong force na nag-act doon sa object. Okay? So, hindi yan about energy transformation, no? Yung letter A. Tingnan naman natin yung letter B, Newton's second law. Again, ang Newton's second law, ano nga yung mathematical statement natin? Ang statement natin for second law of motion is that force is equal to mass times acceleration. Okay? Ang force daw ay, or yung net force na nag-act doon sa object is equal to the product of mass and acceleration. So, it's about forces. No, it's about motion. Hindi yan about energy. So, letter B is also wrong. And then letter D, law of conservation of momentum. Ano naman yung sinasabi ng momentum? Yung yung conservation of momentum. Yung statement naman nito is that yung total momentum, okay, ng isang closed system, constant lang siya kapag walang external force. So, it's also about motion, it's also about momentum, and it's not about energy. Okay, so the answer by that is letter C, conservation of energy. Ayan. Before tayo mag-proceed dito, ano ba yung example natin ng conservation of energy? For example, usually kasi ganito yung mga example dyan. Meron kang object dito. Ito, yung potential energy, meron siya. Let's say, nakatigil pa siya. So, yung kinetic energy niya is 0. Pero yung potential energy niya, let's say, ito na yung highest point, that will be at maximum. Kapag nag-roll siya dito, pababa, sa hill na to, ano mangyayari doon sa potential energy? Yung potential energy, mako-convert sa kinetic energy. Tapos kapag tumigil yung object, yung kinetic energy, mako-convert ulit sa potential energy. Okay? So maraming mga types ng gantong klaseng energy transformation. Right? So number 12, a 2 kilogram object moving at 4 meters per second has what momentum? A, 2 kilogram per meter second, 2 kilogram meter per second. Letter B, 4 kilograms meter per second. Letter C, 6 kilograms meter per second. Letter D, 8 kilograms meter per second. So, another formula, no? Pero madali lang naman yung formula natin. That momentum is equal to mass times velocity. Okay? So, again, ito yung momentum. Ginagamit natin small letter P. So, yung mass natin na given ay 2 kilograms. And then, yung velocity natin ay 4 meters per second. So, 2 times 4 is 8 kilograms meter per second. That is the answer. Actually, kahit hindi nyo alam yung formula dito, pwede nyo siyang masagutan ng tama. Bakit? Kasi tingnan nyo yung unit, kilogram meter per second. Which means na okay, kailangan i-multiply ko lang tong units na to para makuha ko si kilogram meter per second. Which means na i-multiply ko lang to. 2 times 4. It will give me 8. Okay, so that is for number 14, 8 kilogram meter per second. Next, number 15. Which force keeps an object moving in a circular path? Letter A, centripetal force. Letter B, centrifugal force. Letter C, friction. And letter D, gravitational force. Meron tayong word na circular. Circular. Di ba kapag circular, center, centri, etc. So, pwede na natin tanggalin si C and D. And then, mag-focus tayo dun sa centripetal at saka dun sa centrifugal force. Okay? So, now, ang answer natin dito, papakita ko na yung answer and then explain natin later. Ang answer natin sa number 15 ay letter A, centripetal force. Okay? Ano ba yung centripetal force? Ang centripetal force, ito yung force or net force na directed toward the center of the circular path. For example, meron ka ditong poste, tapos meron ditong object nakadikit through a string, so umiikot siya dyan. Yung centripetal force is towards the center. Okay? Nung isang circular path na pinapanatili yung movement nitong object na to doon sa circular path. Kapag wala yan, kapag wala yung centripetal force, ano mangyayari? For example, nandito na yung object natin, kung biglang mawawala yung centripetal force, travel lang yan dito sa straight line. Okay? Kasi wala nang net force directed towards the center. Okay? So, another example, for example, merong curve dito, tapos merong kotse. Ayan, no? So, naka-curve yung path na yan, for example, because of friction, yung friction yung nagpo-provide ng centripetal force. Okay? Para maka-turn itong kotse na to. Okay? So, ayan yung mga examples natin sa centripetal force. Yung centrifugal force kasi, hindi yan totoong force, no, na nag-act doon sa object. Result lang yan ng ng non-inertial rotating frame, pero hindi natin pag-uusapan yon. Basically, ang centrifugal force, usually ang naging definition natin dyan ay yung apparent outward force. Na kapag, for example, nakasakay ka dito, ayan, na parang tinatapon ka palabas. Okay? So, the answer is again, letter A, centripetal force.